This is a real pleasure. This is a real capper, a real ender to the show here today. And gosh, we've all been listening to her music for for a long time, and we are happy to have her here on Friday night, right here at Penn's Peak, and it is the all-consuming Mary Chapin Carpenter on the show. Hello, are you there, Mary Chapin?
I'm here. Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I love your voice, by the way, though, too. You have that smoky, raspy voice. I like it. I like it.
Well, thank you.
I do, and it is a pleasure to have you on board. And like I said, right before Mary Chapin and I went on the air, this is going to be unlike any other interview you've ever done ever in your entire career, because I feel let's just hang out, talk a little bit, new things that are going on in your world. But I don't know, it's kind of like just showing up in my house, man, for a coffee, beer, or a wine. We just sit around and hang out.
Sounds good.
So a couple of things going on, new things. You're here at the Peak on Friday. We're so looking forward to it. Spring acoustic tour, doing a lot of things. A little bit of a change, from, let's say, Passionate Kisses and things that you've done in the past, and even doing now some orchestra stuff. What's going on in Mary Chapin Carpenter's life?
Well, I put a record out last year. You mentioned my wonderful collaborator / composer / arranger, Mendoza. He's an amazing artist, so gifted, and I worked with him with 10 songs, existing songs, and he reimagined them, as I like to think, for orchestra. Mm-hmm. So I spent most of last year presenting that music around the world with him, and it was nothing short of thrilling, just wonderful. And the beauty of that project, which I didn't even really think about it at the time, but what I realize now is that it doesn't really have a shelf life the way a more typical record does.
Good point.
That you can present it for the rest of your life, as long as an orchestra invites you to come to their venue, So it's been really life transforming, and just I love to sing with orchestras. I love to present this music. So that came out a year ago, January, and then this acoustic tour that I'm doing and coming guys with. That started last year when I was just between orchestral shows. I had a chance to do some dates, and I sort of threw it together. But I'd done it in years past as well, and really enjoyed it.
Right.
Stripping things back a little bit.
That's awesome.
So it's really, you feel kind of weightless in the best possible way.
No kidding. Right. Yeah. A whole new take on it for you. And where did it all come from? For the whole idea of let's say the orchestra end with the new CD that is out, with the songs of the movie. Well, where did it all come from? Where's the inspiration?
Do you remember a number of years ago, Don Henley did a series of shows around the country with women pop stars to raise money for Walden Woods?
I do.
Do you remember that? So I got to do the San Francisco show, and I remember standing on the stage watching, Gwen Stefani and Joni Mitchell, all these amazing artists, sing a couple of songs each from the Great American Songbook, and Vince had been the arranger for all of the songs.
Right.
And these arrangements were just so beautiful, so sumptuous, provocative. And I remember standing there on the stage thinking in that moment that if I ever had the chance down the road to set my existing songs to have them arranged for orchestra, that Vince would be the guy that I would want to call first, because his sensibility and his touch are so beautiful. And so I kind of just put that thought and that wish and that desire in my back pocket and carried it around for years.
Wow.
And then a few years ago, just all of the pieces of a very complicated puzzle that it is to put put something like that together.
Mm-hmm.
All of the pieces came together, and I was able to record it in London at the wonderful Air Studios. It's been just one of the great joys of my life.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, what a neat story. And I do remember that with Don Henley. And, you know, we keep mentioning Vince Mendoza. And look, music's been part of my life. Gosh, doing this job for 34 years, and even before that, from a somewhat musical family. I don't know. We all can carry a half-decent tune in a bucket. Thanks to my mother being able to play piano still at 86 years old. And every time she plays Mary Chapin, we must sing, because that's kind of like the rule. At 86,
Mama lays it down.
Yeah, she does. We're talking about Vince Mendoza. I mean, he's done things for Sting and Diane Krall and Elvis Costello and Joni Mitchell and Bjork. I mean, great stuff, man. And this guy is just, over the top good. For those of you that get into the music scene like I do, and read on some of these producer guys, and he's just over the top crazy good. Here we are, a Mary Chapin Carpenter exclusive, and she's coming to the Peak on Friday. And gosh, going to be a great. So I have people right now checking in from Colorado, loving you on board. I have people in Niagara Falls, New York, love Mary Chapin Carpenter. Great feedback, man. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm a star. I have my own bobblehead. I have my own bobblehead. You know where it is? It's in the National Bobblehead Museum and Hall of Fame. Do you believe it? It is. And here I am, a small town boy from where you're going to be on Friday. I'm born and raised here. Here in Carbon County, Pennsylvania. I got outside the box, and life's been good, man. And you know why life's been good? It's something I preach about all the time. And I'm sure even in your songs you have, you sing about it. You can feel it on stage. It's all about fun. It's all about being true to yourself, and enjoying life. And you know what? I do every day.
That's wonderful.
Every day. Mary Chapin Carpenter, here, we're talking about 13 million records sold, probably more than that at this point. Has all kinds of accolades and awards, Grammy Awards, CMA Awards, Academy of Country Music Awards. Here we are at the stage in our life where we only get better, Mary Chapin, we only get better. I'll say it for you. You don't have to. I'm gonna. Where did it all start? How did it all start? Who put that guitar in your hand? Did it start with a flute or a harmonica? How did it all start for Mary Chapin Carpenter?
It started with a bass ukulele.
A bass ukulele, really?
Yeah, which is the first 4 strings of the guitar.
Okay.
And my mother had guitar, and she also had a bass ukulele, and little fingers can get around that bass ukulele a little bit easier than guitar. So I started playing that, and then it was easy enough eventually when I grew up a little bit that I could just manage the guitar. And so it was really just because it was there, like Everest. And I just love to play music, and I love to just scribble, and music was in our house growing up. My dad, incredible jazz collection. Mother had the, Metropolitan Opera blaring every Saturday afternoon from New York on radio.
Wow.
It was just a musical house, and I grew up listening to the Beatles and Motown, the Rolling Stones and the Mamas and the Papas and the band, and everything in between. And I've always loved all different kinds of music, and I have a hard time sometimes believing that I got so fortunate that I can wake up in the mornings and call myself a musician and be able to pay my rent with it. I know how it's not easy. It's hard to be an artist in our world, but I've been so fortunate to be supported by a great team of people, and the people that we get to play music for are the best.
Yeah.
It's just walk out on the stage and people just give you a gift when they connect to what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel very fortunate.
Yeah, I do as well. I mean, being able to do what I do for a living, honestly, and I've met wonderful people, even if it's by way of phone interviews, like yourself, or people that I've had the pleasure to meet and hang out with, or talk to, or in person, or both. And but it's all about. Speaking of the Beatles, it's all about the love you make. I mean, I think it comes back when you're, like I said, true to yourself, positive, and hell, man, having a little fun along the way doesn't hurt. No harm, no foul. And
Yeah.
with the music scene, you have yourself to a point that you can certainly call it the way you want to see it, but you think it's. From your point of view, that some things have changed on the music scene for up and coming artists, for people that are coming out, harder, easier, the same. What's Mary Chapin Carpenter's view on that?
Well, I was speaking about this to a previous interview. This asked me if I thought that with how technology has evolved in such a way as to make the idea that anyone
Mm-hmm.
can make a record, can hang some blankets on your walls and get your computer out and make a record, put it on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
put it out there so it can be found. He said, "Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?" And I actually sort of said, my response was to the interviewer was, "Do you really think it's a bad idea?" I mean, the idea that what that represents to me is that what traditionally used to exist in terms of the model of making records with major labels and that sort of thing, that they were in fact a version of sort of gatekeepers, and remove the gatekeepers, I think, can only be a positive thing. And then he said, "Well, but it's like it means that there's a lot more, can I say crap?"
Yeah, you can say that. On my show, you can say just about anything.
Okay, but I'm not going to. But so he said, it means that there's so much more crap that you have to wade through. And then I sort of thought about what he said, and I said, but even when there were gatekeepers, there was a lot of crap in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I mean, I think you start from the premise that it's all very subjective, and what one person connects to and loves
Absolutely.
may not be someone else's cup of tea.
Yes.
That's fine. That's always been the case.
Yep.
But I like the idea that any kid can grow up and fantasize about making music and being passionate about that, and can do it himself, and doesn't have to be signed to a label, doesn't have to have someone verify that he's got talent or that he can sell records. He can do it on his own. And obviously, it's not as simplistic as that. We all know it's more complicated, and there's many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, that's the spirit of it, and that's something I think is wonderful. And that is what I would say has changed during the course of the time that I've been a recording artist, and I think it's great.
I'll tell you what, one hell of a response from Mary Chapin Carpenter, because again, this is non-staged, as all my interviews are. By no stretch will I ever, say, "Oh, we got to ask this." It's like, nah, I don't want to do that interview, and because I like it this way. And I'll tell you what an absolutely incredible, awesome answer. And response from you, Miss Mary Chapin Carpenter, and I mean that because you're right. It's always been the case where somebody will second guess or say no, and it's always been that way. And you forge ahead. You pick yourself up, you keep on going, you brush it off, and you keep plugging along. I mean, it's a great lesson in certainly your response on many levels, I think. So, man, I could go on, and I know you're busy, and I want to give away some tickets here. Actually, my show runs from 9 to 1, and I don't want to do too much overtime. After doing this 34 years, I mean, nobody wants to work that hard. You know what I mean, Mary Chapin? Honestly, it's an interview with you that we could go on and on and on. What else do we need to know? I mean, MaryChapinCarpenter.com is the website. Facebook, Twitter, you'll find her all over this schedule. And so happy to have you at Penn Speak this coming Friday. And honestly, I will say that the pictures do not do the place justice. Once you see Penn's Peak, it is truly, with the amount of venues I've seen, not near as many as you, but it certainly is a really absolutely awesome venue. I say
Well,
that I say that all
So
the time.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're going to be joined by one of the seminal instrumental bands in the world, an incredible Celtic band named Lunasa.
Mm-hmm.
I toured with them years ago, and to be able to do it again is a dream come true. So
Wow.
people who are fans of Celtic music, but really of anything wonderful, they will be really delighted when they see Lunasa.
That's awesome. I mean, you're such a great person, you know, and I'm a big one. I can tell even on phones and on first impressions and phone calls that like what a buddy you are. You know, you're so true to yourself, and you leave it on the stage. That's why it's lasted, and why you're adored by so many. And the amount of email I love Mary Chapin Carpenter here, Florida. So I got Florida checking in. I love her too, and she's on my show, not yours. No, I'm only kidding. But people listening all over the place, and that's a great thing. But I'll tell you, like I said, I could go. We're already talking like 15 minutes, and I can talk another half hour. I don't know if I had a bottle of wine. You know what? Show up here early Friday. You know, we'll hang out. We'll have a couple of wine. We'll hang out, and we'll just shoot the breeze. How's that?
Sounds good. It sounds really good.
I don't know. I do a lot of DJ work. I don't know. I drink before I start. I don't know if you do that, but that's what I do.
No, I don't do that yet.
I have to. I mean, the people that I play for, they expect it almost. All kidding. You know, the music and songs from a movie. I have them here, and. I don't know. I'll let you pick. I would like to give away a pair of tickets. So once we say thank you to Mary Chapin Carpenter coming up in just a minute, I'd love for somebody to call me, and the studio line, you guys know, 610-826-9669. Easiest number in the world to remember. And once we start a song from this soundtrack, this new CD from Mary Chapin Carpenter, I'll hook you up with a pair of tickets. What else do we need to know? Anything else that you'd like to bring full circle before we do one of your choice?
Gosh, I just thank you for talking to me. I've got to buzz off and go to my next interview, but this has been a real pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for us too, and myself. It really is. I mean, it's just another one that I can really brag about, and I'm stoked. You know, I really truly am, and I thank Casey and your PR people for getting it together, and I'm grateful. I really am, and I wish you honestly a heartfelt continued success following your dreams. My best to your entire family, your crew. And safe travels, because we can't wait to see you on Friday.
Thank you, Lane. You're the best.
Listen, all the best to you, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.